I don't like to rip hosts. Part of that is I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I know that sounds weird to you, but that's not my responsibility. I don't care. I don't like to see people get whacked. So I just said, did I not? I don't like to rip other hosts, but I'm about to call Don Lemon an airhead. But I've always called him an airhead. This is interesting. There's a bunch of levels to this. So Fox settles with Dominion Voting Systems late last week. Everyone knows that. You knew it was coming. It was an $800 million settlement. They had to settle. Fox was busted for lying. They were busted for knowing they were lying. I told you last week there was an easy fix to all of it along the way, but it would come with bothering the audience. Okay? And that would have been, if that's what you say, if that's what you think, if that's what in other words, don't make it you're the news story that says that Dominion Voting Systems is fixed, right? So this whole thing, these levels of the election was rigged kind of thing ended up costing a lot of people in a lot of ways. So it was an $800 million settlement. Okay. So then this guy, is it Dan Bongino? Is that right? He, again, I don't pay much attention. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. But Dan Bongino, who I've never heard of, I've heard of him. I haven't seen his show. Does a nighttime host with Fox. He announced he was leaving late last week. Now it's reported that Tucker Carlson is out. Fox says they've agreed to part ways. Others have made it pretty clear he was fired. Did he know it was coming? He had to. So that's what makes this settlement pretty interesting in the media space, the talk media space. Is it part of the settlement that these people get whacked? It's hard to believe it's not. I mean, the timing makes it hard to believe that it's not. Either they're mad at their own network for not having their back, and they just said, I'm out if you settle, or part of the settlement is you pay us, you own it, and you whack the people that did it. It's one of those two things. I assume it's you whack them when you settle. So that would mean the hosts that went all in with the voting systems are rigged narrative were part of the settlement. In other words, you pay us, you whack them, that's the deal. The other question would be, are these hosts that are part of the suit? I think what's the next frontier is, and I don't like this either. I don't care what you talk about. I don't like this setup. But that would mean, and I don't know how you settle this out. Lawyers are going to have to make sense of some of this. But would that make them untouchable and too toxic? In other words, is this lawsuit going to follow you around where you can't get another gig? I find that hard to believe. I think the whacking means you're free and clear, go wherever you want, but you can't be here because we had to agree to it. I'm not sure exactly how that settlement would have played out, but it seems obvious that for those that were a part of the election was rigged narrative, which is, I assume, most of Fox. They may have been named in the settlement. And if they were, they had to know it was coming. All right. So is it a big blow to Fox short term? Yeah, except here's the thing. I don't know. You're not going to like this because you're a consumer. I'm not a consumer. I'm in the space. But I only say it's a blow to them short term. And here's why I think Fox is better positioned than most other people. Okay. And that is that, in the short term, the audience typically is going to follow a good host. A good host has got a built-in brand. Everyone's a brand. Everyone is a brand. And so all that really matters is once you're a brand is how you distribute the content so the audience can get it. Okay. But in the case of Fox, it's a weird setup that insulates them a little bit. And that is, it is an older rural audience that leaves the TV on in the background. So, a lot of people are going to follow him, assuming he makes a move. CNN should do it. A lot of people will follow him, but it won't be as catastrophic. I think a lot of people think, if you just whack him, then there goes the audience. I don't know that I agree with that. Go to your grandmother's house and she'll have the Fox News on in the background no matter who's on. It's just a habit for older people. So Fox has got, in my opinion, Fox has got a little protection there, a little insulation. Usually when you lose the star, the talk host, that's it, the audience goes. But in their case, I don't know that's entirely true. It's a blow, but it doesn't wipe them out. Just like when, what was his name, Bill O'Reilly left. I don't know what was going on there. I can't remember. I remember I had him on my show one time and he was furious at me because I brought up Inside Edition and he got really upset. But I don't even know what I asked about Inside Edition, but man, he did not like it. But when he leaves, it was a hugely successful time slot. The audience didn't just disappear. It's because they have the TV on in the background. No one has that kind of built-in audience that's that old that still lives that way. It's like the crowd that still reads the newspaper. So there's some cover there, but it's going to hurt. No doubt about it. What I don't know is, one, if this was part of the settlement, he had to know it was coming. All of them do, and I can't believe this is the last one, because I don't know who all was in on the election is rigged, but I assume everybody with lips at Fox, because that's just the template, right? Like, what's your name? The crazy one. The crazy one. Which one, Jeff? I mean, I don't know that, again, you can maybe tell me, I don't know who it was more into the election was rigged and those systems are rigged, and here comes drunk Rudy to tell us about it. I don't know that Tucker Carlson was in on it more than crazy Lou Dobbs or Maria Bartiromo. She's a nut job. So if the settlement is anyone who went all in on it was rigged should get whacked, I don't know how those two are not whacked. Is he still with us? Hang on, I got to find out. Is Lou Dobbs still on the show, or what does he do? Oh, boy, we don't even know. I just find old Lou is so crazy and cranky. But she was all, what I know, because she does the business network there, she was all in on this stuff. I felt like drunk Rudy was on the show every half hour. So does that mean more are coming? Probably, if it's part of the settlement, yeah. Yeah, probably, because it seems pretty obvious. Pay us and whack them. Now what? I don't know. I don't know if this is a lawsuit that you have to carry with you or you have to stay on the sidelines for the foreseeable future. I don't know. I really don't know. You know who's going to pounce on this, though. You know who's coming. And this will matter and it will hurt. You know who is going to hammer them for this. Your Republican nominee, D. Trump. You think he's not going to go all in on this? He is going to hammer them, and he is the Pied Piper, and he can hurt them. He can make that audience really mad. He won't wipe the audience out because your grandmother leaves the TV on in the background. But the Pied Piper will go after them for this. So a chunk of audience is going to go with him elsewhere. CNN should do it. I'm not kidding. And I don't know what happens to crazy Maria Bartiromo, and I have no idea, old Lou, assuming Lou's still with us. I don't know what happens to him either, and I don't know who else gets whacked because I'm not sure who said what, but it seems pretty clear on some page of the settlement. It had a list of names that said, you're paying us, and they're gone too. And Fox probably said, yeah. I told you what Fox couldn't have happened. And a little bit of this came out with Ted Cruz, the lovable Ted Cruz over the weekend. They could not have it. They could not have it come out that all the hosts thought it was a joke and they were laughing at everybody, that it was all just that they were being fraudulent. So Fox said, we'll pay. We need this over with. And I assume they served these people up as chum in the water. And I just can't believe they didn't know. I have to believe they knew it all along whenever the settlement went down. Then Brandon tells me that Don Lemon's gone too. Don Lemon makes me laugh. He's such a goofball and I think such an airhead. He just kind of makes me laugh. Well, he's out. And that dude should have been out a long time ago. Here's why I say that. When the rest of the team around you, when you act like a misogynistic jackass and say stuff that offends the team around you, and they say, please, I'm not going back out there with him, you probably ought to get whacked. So he's out too. Imagine that duo. What if we do wait a second, I'm on to something. What about the Tucker and Don show? Huh? That kind of works. That's kind of fun. The Tucker and Don show. Do with it all whatever you want. Like I said, I never like those days when people go, yeah, whack them. But when you knowingly lie and you knowingly keep up the lie and you know you're making the lie and somebody pays the price for it, you're going to get hit. And I don't know of another time. First of all, defamation suits, thankfully, are hard to win and tough to prove. But I can't think of another time when a network said, okay, we'll pay you and we'll whack everybody. That part's interesting to me. The other side of it is, and I think some people might argue this, and I don't know the answer yet. I'm not sure we will. But the other side of this would be, maybe you're one of these people that thinks, you know what? These hosts at Fox, maybe CNN too, I don't know. These hosts are so fed up with Fox. See, this is how Trump's going to play it. This is what Trump's going to do. He's going to do it for them. They're going to argue that Fox whacked them. They left because Fox didn't have their back. That's what. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and just emerge from all of this and show up with D-Trump, your spin is this. And this is what Trump's going to try to do, and he'll probably be able to pull it off. Hey, we believed it all along. We knew the election machines were rigged. And the fact that you settled this, we're out. I don't think that's the case, but I think some people, starting with D-Trump, are going to carry the football that says they didn't agree with this, so they decided to bail. Or they said, I don't want to work for you, and Fox said, we don't want to work with you either. Either way, there's a way to spin yourself out of this in the D-Trump model. Now, I don't recommend it, because usually in the D-Trump orbit, notice how that works for everybody but him, their lives are ruined. I don't recommend it. But if you wanted to find a way out that keeps that audience happy, the Trump audience happy, you say, well, I didn't agree to this. I didn't think they should have settled. So I'm so mad I quit. That's another spin. I'll bet you that spin is played to a degree. I'd be shocked if the host and his lawyer, Tucker Carlson, anybody else with a lawyer, probably said, lay low, shut up, because you don't want to have to pay this. It's better off they cover you and you get out, shut your face, let this go away. Because if you get aligned with D-Trump, his spin is going to be, Fox sucks, Fox is after me. These hosts knew they were saying what was true, so they decided to quit on their own. That's how he's going to pitch it.